Hello and welcome once again to Jacob's Toys. Please do like, share, subscribe, all those things. All support's very much appreciated. And in this video we're going to take a look at my custom Marvel Legends Scarlet Witch from the Age of Ultron movie. So, a little bit of background. Over on Instagram I do a series called Then and Now where I pose the Marvel Legends figure of their first appearance along with their most recent appearance. Now quite rightfully a few people pointed out that the figure that I used was not from Age of Ultron and instead from Captain America Civil War. So we've had three versions of Wanda. We've had this one that was from Civil War, we had this one that was from the Infinity War 2-pack with Vision, and we've obviously got the most recent WandaVision, the Scarlet Witch version. Now for quite some time the Civil War version was the only version of Wanda that we had, and then when Infinity War came out and the 2-pack came out they gave us an upgraded or an updated version with a much better head sculpt and a better kind of paint app on the body, but essentially they're very similar figures. Now the one from Civil War always struck me as a little bit odd because her hair was darker and a lot more like it was in Age of Ultron, but the costume obviously didn't represent that. And for quite some time I wanted to do a custom to make the original kind of suit or outfit that she had, but I just never got around to it. And then after doing my then and now pictures I thought, you know what, now's the time, let's do it. So just move them two out of the way for now and we'll just focus on this one. As I said, this one is from Civil War and as a figure she's not actually that bad. The costume's very accurate in comparison to the films like Civil War and Avengers. But the head sculpt was nowhere near as good as the 2-pack version. Obviously we're using the photoreal technology. But I do think that the head sculpt would work well for an original Scarlet Witch or an original Wanda from that Age of Ultron film. So the recipe of putting her together was quite straightforward. I used the MJ figure from the Homecoming 2-pack and I used the Moira figure from the more recent X-Men wave. Combining these two figures made a suitable Scarlet Witch body, and I'll show you what I did in order to create them. It was very minimal work and a little bit of painting as well. So I cut these figures up and put them together as so. As you can see, I've cut the boots off of the MJ figure and glued them onto the legs of the Moira figure. I've cut the jacket to look a little bit more like the jacket that she wears in the film, and I used the bottom half of the arms from the MJ figure. I did swap the hands out because the skin tones are a little bit different, so it will require me to paint the lower arms. But the jacket from MJ gave the rolled up sleeves look that Wanda has in the film. Now because I cut the feet off above the ankle, the pivot and everything is still there. So it's not going to take a huge amount of paintwork. The only other thing that I did do is I had to kind of hack down the ball here as well because the hole on the Wanda head is a lot smaller than a regular figure. Let me just grab the head so I can show you. Marvel Legends do tend to kind of switch between, and this older figure has a much smaller socket there. So I had to hack down the Moira ball. Sorry, I'm kind of holding my camera here. But I think all in all, once painted up, it matches that look of the Scarlet Witch quite well. The other thing that I did do as well is that I sandpapered down the neck so we could get rid of kind of the turtleneck. So when painting, I could give her that lowered neckline on her top. So looking at the two together, you can see that it's not too bad, not a bad shout. I think it works quite well. I'd like to give her some kind of necklace details, so I think I'm going to paint those on. You can see there where I painted the lower half of the arms. One other thing I did with her tights, because they're kind of laddered, I just kind of dry brushed on the black onto her legs to create that kind of laddered look of her kind of tights. But I think all in all it works quite well. The head fits on quite nicely, and when I stand her next to her brother, which we obviously got as part of the Infinity Saga line, this is obviously his look in Age of Ultron because, spoilers, he doesn't make it past that film. But when stood next to each other, these definitely look a lot more the part than the original released figure. She didn't have that costume in Age of Ultron, so it's a shame to kind of put him next to her when he never saw her in that costume. That makes sense. A little bit OCD, but I've wanted a first appearance Wanda anyway, so I was quite pleased that it was quite straightforward to do. So that really is it. Not a huge amount of customization taken there at all. Because the Moira figure's arms do come off and the jacket is removable, they just pop in and out. So there isn't a huge amount there that you need to do. And in order to get the lower half of the arms out, you just pop them in a cup of hot water and they just pop out, and then run them under cold water and they heat up again, they cool down and fix back into place. So it is quite straightforward and anybody can have a go and actually pull that one off. So if you do want to use it, by all means use that recipe. Just give us a tag or give us a message so that I can see. So I took some photos of her in the surroundings. So this is the first one of her just on her own in like a Sokovian surrounding. A bit of a fun fact as well, I worked as an extra on Age of Ultron as well, so I was in Sokovia, so this is definitely what it looked like. Another one with her and her brother, just in the same setup, same lights, etc. But I just think these pair look really cool next to each other now, and I'm much more pleased with how she looks next to him as opposed to the earlier release. And then obviously I had to do one other picture because these two originally in the film were working for Ultron. You know, they were kind of under his spell as such. Like he'd convinced them to work for him, so I had to get a picture of the three of them together. So same surroundings, just popped Ultron in there as well, and then there's the three of them in Sokovia about to go up against the Avengers. So there we go. So as I said, if you do use this recipe, then please do tag me or message me. It'd be great to see some other people's versions of her. I'm really pleased that she was as straightforward as she was, and I'm really chuffed with how she turned out. So that's about it. Thanks very much for watching. If you've got any questions, then please do put them in the comments below. That's about it. If you want to check out some of my photography over on Instagram, it's at Jacobs_toys. Thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you soon.